What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with the overall market and talk about some very key levels. But just notes that I am not a financial planner, so make sure you take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link. Deposit $100 and you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. Deposit $1,000 and you're guaranteed 15 in total. Not to mention 8.1% APY on uninvested cash. Anyways, let's talk about the market. So what's going on right now? Looking at the way the market's moving, I just want to say that SPY is doing a good job on the 4-hour time frame at holding up. We're looking at this resistance around this 547 area, and the support happens to be very close to about 554. We are range bound for now. We started off with a nice push. I was looking for that in my morning video that the market was holding up very well in the pre-markets. We got a very nice push to just under 549, but I told you all the critical level was our 4-hour 20 EMA, that 548 area. So it didn't matter if we went up to 549. What mattered was, could we hold above 548? And what happened was we weren't able to hold above it so far. So we pushed above that. We were pushing nicely, then got a little bit of a dip, and now we're just range bound. So that was the big test we were looking for. That's why I said to watch that resistance in my earlier video. So what's happening right now? I just want to say that right now, we have some minor data coming up. We have some bill auctions and 3-year notes auctions, and there's not really much coming out. So the market's getting ready for CPI. And I think that we're just very much just range bound for the time being. So I think we're just going back and forth and back and forth. So I think that there's a good chance that SPY maintains this structure. And I think that we're going to continue to trade sideways for the time being. If SPY were to lose 554, however, we could be tipping to 543.8. That's going to be our next level, by the way. And if we break past 527, we're looking for 528.03. If we hold above that for over 4 hours, our next target will be all the way up to 550 plus. But I don't really see that happening. I'm starting to think we're just going to be trading sideways for most of the day. And then maybe during the last hour, we're going to be looking for some interesting volatility. So that's what my prediction is now looking at this. So that looks a lot more favorable in my opinion. Nvidia has been riding this yellow trend line up, and it's doing a good job at holding up. But just so you guys know, if we lose the trend line, we could be tipping to 104. If we break past 107.8 to 108, we're looking for 110. As of right now, Nvidia is range bound, but there is some potential for us to continue to uptrend. So we'll give this the time it needs. Overall, it's doing a good job at holding up. For ES, we're basically in a very interesting phase. We have this consolidation phase that's been developing. We have 54.86 as our resistance. If that breaks, we're looking for 55.10, and if we lose 54.80, we could be tipping back down to about 54.50. So very tight levels on ES. As of right now, it's just range bound. If you look at this, we're getting bought up around 54.70, and we tend to reject off just under 5,500. So it might just continue to go back and forth for now. So I'll watch and see how it goes. For Bitcoin is completely range bound as well. We have 57,250 is our resistance, and we have our main support around 56,300. We're just range bound, going back and forth. So I think that's what we're going to most likely do. So we have a nice, there could be an inverse head and shoulders forming on Bitcoin, but I just think that for now we're range bound. So I don't really expect much. For other factors out there, we have Tesla. Tesla is trying to push higher on the 4-hour time frame. But we want to try to hold above 222. If we hold above 222, we'll be looking for our next target of 225. And if we don't hold this, we're looking for 220 as the next level. Otherwise, if we don't break any of these levels, we're just range bound. So I hope that's very clear. We're just going back and forth, mainly between 222 and 225. Tesla's not doing much. It did push higher. This is what I was talking about in my earlier video. And even my video from yesterday, I said that we had some potential. But like I said before, there's not much happening now. We're just range bound. So we just have to wait and see what Tesla does. There might be a bigger move towards the end of the day, but we're just going to wait on this. NQ is also range bound. So we have resistance around 18,750 and then 18,800. And our support to watch for is around 18,680. Not to mention this 18,600 area. So we're going back and forth. It's not really doing much. So NQ is just range bound for now. So I'm not expecting too much for the time being. I think that we just have to wait on this. Same thing with the QQQ. We pumped very nicely to 458, but we didn't hold above that. We didn't hold above this resistance. We came back down. So now we're just shuffling between 455 and 458. If 455 fills us, we could get closer to 453. Otherwise, we're just range bound. It's not really doing much. For Apple, we're also range bound right now. We have 220s resistance and 217 support. We could continue to go back and forth and back and forth, so give this the time it needs. But in my opinion, I think that this is going to be stuck. The IWM looks a little bit weaker to me because of the fact that we are dipping right now. We are not holding with 208, so there's a risk of us coming down to the 206 area, so be careful with that. And by the way, for Apple, we're just range bound. Like I said before, I want to just call it out. We're range bound for now. If 217 breaks, we're looking for 215, and then if 220 breaks, we're looking for 221. But anyways, going back to the IWM, we're a little bit more bearish looking. We need to reclaim 208 to 208.5, 208.5 to turn back up. Otherwise, we're just favoring the downside for now. We could dip a little bit more to about 206. I think we're range bound, but we could dip a little bit, so be careful with that. Coin is also consolidating, but we could dip closer to about 152. We have resistance around 156, so we'll see how it goes. For Amazon, we're trying to push higher, but we haven't been able to hold above 178. If we held this, we would turn more bullish. Otherwise, we're just shuffling now. So we hit 180 only to come back down. If we don't reclaim 178, we could be dipping back down to 175. But for now, we're just range bound. Meta is the same thing. We have 506 as resistance. If we don't reclaim that, we could be dipping back down to fill this gap around 500. For Microsoft, we're looking at it looks more bullish actually. If we continue to hold above 410, we're going to be looking for a potential test of the highs again. So it looks pretty nice forming a cup. I think the setup is decent. So this is showing some strength. Could push higher later on as long as 410 holds. And then Google is just so. We're stuck shuffling at 150. We haven't broken the 150s. So we haven't really broken out in a way where we're just like continuing to pump on high volume. We're just shuffling at 150 instead, so we're not really breaking out or anything. So it's just continuing to consolidate. So that's all I'm really seeing for the markets for now. Just a lot of range bound price action. So I personally see myself kind of stepping away for the time being. I might return towards the end of the day for trading, and then we'll see how it goes. I'll give you guys two more updates for the day. One more closer to like the power hour session closer to the end of the day for trading. And I'll give you guys one more final update and a preview of CPI for the afternoon for my next couple of videos. So that's pretty much it for now. The market's range bound. It's not really doing a whole lot. So we have to be very patient with this. The moves are going to take some time to pan out, but just know that the reason the market's doing this is because we're preparing for a very, very big move tomorrow once we get the CPI report. So that's going to be very important for interest rates, the Fed's policies, and all these different things like that. So with that being said, I really appreciate you guys for watching these videos. Please leave a like if you really like these updates. I'll try to give you guys one more intraday update before I give you guys a final video of the day. Until then, take care. Watch your levels very carefully. Just know the market is kind of choppy, so be careful if you're trading options and do what you have to do. Thanks again, and peace out.